Hey everyone, it's Ryder from Skip. The SBA has rolled out their brand new portal for managing EIDL loans and future loans as well. There's a lot to it and a lot more coming. Here's a quick recap on what you should know about the new portal, how this affects the old CAFS portal, and some of the common questions we've been hearing about this major rollout. First, the new portal went live on Tuesday, February 21st at lending.sba.gov. You can go there and see highlights of some of the main features, which includes seeing your EIDL loan balance, making payments towards your EIDL loan. That's one of the major new features, and sending and receiving messages from the SBA. I'm going to point out a few things on the dashboard that you should be aware of as well. It replaces this old CAFS dashboard. You can see the green notice here points that out. You can now log in with the same credentials at lending.sba.gov. In fact, if you log into the CAFS portal now, you will be automatically redirected. Here's a screenshot of that to the new MySBA Loan Portal. Now, the SBA has not emailed about this. They haven't made a press release as of this recording. We heard that directly from the SBA. I interviewed a director on Tuesday, February 21st when this launched. If you want to watch that video with Alejandro from the SBA, we'll link to that above. But the reason they're not announcing this is to avoid unnecessary confusion. For this particular reason, all COVID EIDL borrowers have the option of deferring payments for 30 months. Of course, interest is accruing from day one. When your loan originates, interest will start accruing, but you don't have to start making payments for 30 months. So the SBA did not want to unnecessarily confuse people who may not have payments due for months or even over a year. In case you don't know when your first payment might be due, here's a quick cheat sheet we put together. For example, if your loan originated in April 2020, right at the start of the pandemic, your first payments would have been due in October 2022. If you originated in May 2020, first payment due November 2022. So if you remember the month that you first got your EIDL loan, you can match it up here. Any loans that originated in September 2020 or onwards have not had their first payment due yet. Of course, if you're unsure, you should double check your loan documents. The last example here, for those of you who first got your loan in March 2022, your first payments won't be due until September 2024. So that just goes to show you, I think it's around 25-30% of COVID EIDL borrowers, something like that, that haven't had to make their first payment yet. But if you're unsure when your next payment is due, you can log into the new system and see that front and center. Now, there's a ton of positives here. So let me get into the screenshots and show you what you can expect on the new portal. So first, when you log in, you'll see a couple options: manage your loans or get veteran-owned business certification. That veteran certification is an example of some of the future developments the SBA is working on to have in this portal, which includes women-owned business certification, minority-owned business certification. For now, the major changes we're going to talk about are managing your loans. When you log in, here's how your portal may look. You'll see your information on the left side, any messages you have from the SBA. A quick note on messages here: if you have ongoing threads with the SBA via your email, it's best to stick with those threads for now, especially, for example, if you have a loan officer you're directly working with. Keep those email chains going, but keep an eye on these messages for the future. Ultimately, the SBA wants most of the messaging to go through the platform here because it's much more secure than email. Then on the other side, you can see a summary of some of the changes. And finally, at the bottom, you can see a list of your loans. That will include your COVID EIDL loans, your PPP loans, and any future loans as well, such as SBA 7A. When you click on a particular loan, you'll see a loan summary, which will have your initial approved amount, your current approved loan amount, and your payment information, which includes your next due date and your amount due. Now, this is a great simplified version here. However, some information has been taken away from the old dashboard, which I personally think was quite helpful. Let me share what those are. On the new system, you can't see the loan origination date or the maturity date. That's useful to keep in mind. You also, as far as I can tell, cannot see the interest accrued. That was front and center on the CAFS dashboard. You could see your daily interest accrual, in this example over $100, the total accrued interest, outstanding interest, which I think is important for a lot of borrowers to understand that in fact there's a lot going towards interest, and probably for many of you, you haven't even begun to pay down your principal. All you've been paying so far is paying down accrued interest. I think that's useful personally, especially if you're thinking about how can I pay off this loan early to cut down on some of those interest charges. That doesn't exist front and center on the new dashboard. You may be able to see that Under the statement section here, you can also see a list of your past payments. Speaking of payments, there's a few big red buttons that say make a payment. You can't miss it. When you click make a payment, you'll need to select the loan you want to make a payment to, verify your information, and then put in your payment information. You have bank account, debit card, or PayPal options. From what we can tell, that's all very smooth. The last feature I want to share with you is the messaging portal. It's a nice interface so far. For example, if you log in, you'll get a nice welcome message. And if you want to send a message, here's how the form looks to sending a message. Would love to hear if any of you do that and what response times you get. That's the new MySBA Loan Portal. Hope you can give it a go. Most importantly, stay well, stay healthy, and I'll see you in the next video.